It was announced at the end of March. It was announced at the end of March that Maruhi's military service has concluded. Basically what had happened is Maruhi signed up. He signed up for the military. I think it was 3 years in a row. I think 3 years in a row he was registered. He was registered and he was ready to enlist. And 3 years in a row he wasn't called upon. Basically whenever they in Korea, whenever they do their military, it looks like they have like a limit on how many people they can take in at a time per season or per year. So Clem, he had done it, I think it was like 3+ years in a row, and each time he was like, you know, he was like delayed. He was like, oh, okay, come back next time, come back next time, come next time. It happened enough to the point where this year, this March, it was confirmed that because they have a law, if that happens consecutively long enough, then they say that you've done it. They say that, like, okay, like you've put in the effort, you put in the effort and the incentive to go to the military. It's on the government that they weren't able to get you in. So, you know, we say that enough time has passed, you've done it, you don't have to worry about it. But that happened in March. So most likely Clem, he was probably expecting to go to the military and probably expecting that he would have to do that. So that probably led into why Clem is currently out of form. But now that that's done, now I'm sure he's back into practice. And I'm excited to see what he looks like now, because again, like Clem has been Maru has been very lackluster in the year of 2025. But again, a lot of that is off season and probably because he didn't know if he was going to the military or not. But that did happen at the start of the year, and here we go. We're now getting into the grand finals, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from Denmark representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. As we open with the eBay block, let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Here we go. Mark floated his buildings on the military. I mean, it's important. It's also important to note that, like, Maru, he was fully intending to go to the military. Like, it wasn't on Maru. It was on like the more. What am I thinking of? But it was on their end, right? It's on their end. So he is now officially concluded his military service. Officially concluded. Now we can just focus on StarCraft. As for now, we do open up. MaxPax is forced to take the unnatural thanks to the eBay block. So with that, MaxPax, he is in a little bit of a more uncomfortable position. We'll see if Clem can take advantage of that. Behind the CC on the high ground, getting to his own 1-1-1. Okay, so standard follow-up. We saw that when Cure did this to Clem previously, we saw that Cure, he was able to punish, or he was trying, I would say he was able to punish Clem. He did kill a lot of probes with his Hellion aggression and Heli run-bys. Here, Clem is not doing that. He does force an uncomfortable start, but Clem, he's getting to a standard draw play follow-up, like nothing too aggressive, nothing too crazy. Right, do we have info on the EWC qualifiers? I believe we do not. I believe currently that is not publicly available, or not known. We know they're going to happen eventually, but right now we have Star Zagora to look forward to. And everyone's looking forward to Star Zagora, of course. That is the next big event that's happening before EWC. So for the big events, it's going to be Star Zagora, and I believe it's going to be Pigsty number 2, or I guess number 7. So the second Pigsty of the year. So those are the two big events that are happening before EWC. As Clem does move out. Again, the Hellions are distracting on the right-hand side, the Bio Army moving in. Administrative issue, that's it. That's earlier I kept saying like receptionist, like front desk, like document. I was just blanking on the term. But yeah, the issue was on the administration side when it came to Maru doing the military, not him. But here we go. Clem does start step forward. He does punish this so hard. Probe's going to be going down, and you can see MaxPax just not ready for this. Yeah, just caught with this pants down. No shield. Battery Stalker does fall. He gets one. Very nice control. The juggling. Oh my god, he saves the Marines. Jesus. He baits out the shots. It does lift in time, does save his army, pulls away. 5 probe kills, not just 5 probes, but 5 probes, an adept, and a stalker. Very nice trades here from Clem, just squeezing the most out of his units. And MaxPax is struggling. Does break out, does defend, but did take a lot of losses early on. And again, Clem back at home, he's fortifying himself. Bunkers, tanks. Like, remember, this wasn't very committed. Like, that's what I was referring to. I was saying, like, oh yeah, he's just going for some drop play. Like, it's not going to be too big of a deal. Like, MaxPax should be fine. We're getting to a normal game state. And we are getting to a normal game state. And Clem achieved a lot with very little. Like, he was very uncommitted at a Clem, but still achieved so much damage. And now the pressure's on MaxPax. Now the pressure's on the Protoss to counterattack, to find a way into the main base, to find a way into the natural, to pick off a tank, pick off some SCVs, to delay the push, to contain the Terran. And we'll see what MaxPax can get done. For now, he's at least keeping up with the Raven. Keeping up with the Raven. Behind this, going into charge, into Forge, into +1. The Forge is not yet thrown down, but we'll get there eventually. Observer gets a scout in the main. Stim is on the way. Some of the production is maybe a little bit exposed, but for the most part, Clem, yeah, he's walling up. He's walling up in the main. Very nice Sim City. And MaxPax, he goes for the bait before the Forge. Okay, interesting. Bold move. Woodermine comes in. Gets one probe. At least one. Oh! Workers, they come back. They do come back. We get the repositioning, the retargeting. Clem just being so annoying here. And just denying so much mining time. So much mining time. There's the Unborrow. Finally, it goes down. And finally, MaxPax, he can go back to mining. Clem, 5 a.m. gaming. Let's go. Let's. Of course, a shout out to both MaxPax and Clem. We did mention before that there's a group of players that play in all 3 tournaments in 24 hours. And MaxPax and Clem, they're one of them. And I believe it's very late in Europe at the moment. It's like 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. It's very late. If you're out there, if you're watching from Europe, get some sleep. Get some sleep, Pappy. Get some sleep. You're an animal. You're an animal. But also, thank you for watching. Oh, nice denial. Very nice denial. Clem getting a CC on location. That's just too greedy. Too greedy here from Clem. He gets punished. MaxPax takes down a medevac. Doesn't recall back home. Nice pickups. Nice denial. But here comes the main army. And because of all the economic damage that's been dealt, you can see how it snowballs and how it really proliferates here in the mid game. As Clem, he has a massive supply lead, and that is because of the economic damage. It isn't apparent early on, but over time it adds up, and it shows just how important early game damage can be. Colossus gets caught out as well, massive stim, Colossus goes down, oof. Oh, there we go, does go down, and MaxPax is being overwhelmed. He's just being overwhelmed here at this point. Clem, he can stim, and he can win. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take game number 1. GG. Get a very impressive game here by Clem, and it all began with what? With the eBay block. It all began with the eBay block, and because of the eBay block, the natural expansion was exposed. Because it was exposed, and because the Hellion was distracting some of the Stalkers, Clem, he was able to pop off and deal critical damage in that natural base, and it set Clem up for success. It did set him up, especially bearing in mind that it was very uncommitted there by Clem, so he was already working on that next step, which is why he was able to just snowball out of control in the mid game. Just so much damage done early on, so efficient. And with that, Clem does take a lead in the series, but it's a best of 3. Sorry, best of 5. It's a best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more games to come, plenty of opportunities for MaxPax to recover and to bounce back. Let's go. From you, we don't sleep till Clem and MaxPax sleep. Solidarity. Ah. You're all D-Gens together, Pappy, together. Let's go. MaxPax probably a public person? I would say no. I would say MaxPax is probably not a public person. If you have been watching StarCraft, you'll know that MaxPax, he's had plenty of interviews. He's a very timid person. There's plenty of interviews with MaxPax, like voice interviews. I would imagine that him not going to an offline event is more of like an anxiety thing, more than anything, or like just anxiety, or just being uncomfortable being in that kind of situation. So, yeah. I would say it's more of a personal choice more than anything, which is fine. We can respect it. We can respect it. There's no need to want for that. It's all good. His choice. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we do have our Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, himself from land of France, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. MaxPax is young. He is young. I think he's like maybe early 20s, like around 20 years old, maybe early 20s sort of thing. Is quite young. But yeah, he's had plenty of interviews talking about that. I think his latest interview was a couple of months ago at the end of WTL. He conducted an interview with SE Boy, referring and talking about World Team League. And I think Masters called the team at the start of the year, so that would have been like January. It's on our channel. Back in my day, MaxPax Smash, BCQD, and King's Code. Yeah. Those were the days. But we are now getting into our second game. Second game, and we'll see how our players do unfold. This time there's no EBA block. This time there's no block, so MaxPax, he will get into a much more comfortable start. Again, last game was just very awkward and very uncomfortable for MaxPax, and it led into just a really awkward game state. But here he can actually settle into his own build. This time uncontested, undisturbed. Meanwhile, we do have our economic opener out of Clem going for a Rax expand into his delayed factory, into his regular setup. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of MaxPax, so Twilight Council into Blink. Meanwhile, Clem behind this going for a 1-1-1 setup here back at home. Nothing too crazy, nothing overly aggressive. With this, we can go into drop play. We can go into like a tech lab, into an add-on swap, into Banshee. Like Banshee play can be always quite prevalent and quite popular in TvP. So Clem has options. Based on the Widow Mine, most likely Widow Mine drop. So into Medevac, into Mine drop. Clem, he will zone away the Adept. And it's going to be on MaxPax to try to maintain this position, to chip away at the army, and maybe even get into the mineral line. Oh. The Adept does not spot the Widow Mine. Again, the shade vision is very limited. Let's try to head in. At the same time, throwing down extra gateways, going for a 3-gate setup, so 3-gate blink out of MaxPax. And Clem does move out with his double Widow Mine drop. So 2 Widow Mines. And moves out. So someone say Koreans can't beat Clem's off race. I mean, no one can. What do you mean? Like the Europeans can't either. What do you mean? At this point, I don't know how I would say that Clem's Protoss is his off race. It's his main race. What are you talking about? Aye. His mine shots are going off. Like right now, Clem, he's off racing as Terran. Look, he's lying to us. He's cosplaying as a Terran player. What an animal. Aye. One of these days, Clem is gonna like really... He's gonna come out of the closet and he's just gonna commit into pure Protoss. Right now, he's just lying to us and lying to himself. It's okay, guys. I'm still a Terran. Copium. One day he'll shed his outer shell. He'll be brave. One day. Aye. As MaxPax is just going to be applying some pressure, bearing in mind that he's expanding behind this. He's getting a third base. Clem does scout. He does confirm. When it comes to the main base, we have 1 tank in position. There's a 2nd tank moving down to low ground. He wants that bunker, though. Oh, does want it. The boys are going to be pulled. The bunker is going to go down. But Clem, he will hold the line. Defend, he will hold. Clem, he's a Zerg main. He's been off racing this whole time. His whole life. True. It all makes sense. As behind this, interesting. So MaxPax, he has a couple of options with how he wants to follow this up, and it is more standard going to Colossus, but no, instead we have a Templar Archives into Storm. So a Storm-based follow-up instead. MaxPax, he's mixing it up. Getting into Storm. Do love to see it. Meanwhile, the Forge is going to be delayed, so delayed +1. Gateway Explosion on the way as well. Storm has begun. So early Storm here from MaxPax. And again, right now the goal for MaxPax is just contain. Just contain the Terran player and scout any kind of push while he enjoys his third base economy. Meanwhile, Clem is waiting for his upgrades. He's waiting for Stim. Stim just finished, +1, and Combat Shields are about to finish up as well. Here comes the Massive on Siege, and Clem, he now breaks out. He's now going to push out across the map, and we'll see if Clem can slow him down. Oh! Gets a Stalker, gets one. Nice pickoff. Takes down a Stalker. Behind this, Clem is expanding. Remember, this is not an all-in. He is taking a third. As Clem, he's broken free from his contain. Now, Storm is going to be done in time. Like, again, thankfully, Storm was prioritized. It's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, Storm is really early, which is good. On the other hand, there's no +1, and there's no charge either. Like, other upgrades were delayed in favor of Storm. So these Storms, they have to count. They have to count here. So far, there's 4 High Templar. There's 3 in the Prism. Clem, he sees the army. He wants none of it. He backs off. So Clem, he's playing it very safe, very secure. Again, he was just expanding behind this. So Clem, he pulls away. And MaxPax, he will get away with this. Now, he has some catching up to do. He's, of course, working towards charge. And eventually into Forge and +1. Eventually. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. My apologies. MaxPax, he's the one that's pushing. And now it makes more sense why I kept talking about +1. I kept talking about the upgrades. And in my mind, I was a little bit confused as to why there still isn't a Forge. Like, there is no Forge. And that's because MaxPax doesn't care. He's on how many? He's on 10 gates. Yeah, 3 base all in. 3 base all in, no gases, 10 gateways, no upgrades. It's all or nothing here for MaxPax. His goal here is to break Clem. And now the early Storm makes more sense. First Storm does pop up. Zealous to get ready for a run by. Coming in from behind, another Storm. Oh, a brutal Storm here on the army. Ay. And Storms, they force him back. Nice spread here from Clem. Zealous coming from behind. And with all these Storms, looks like it is going to be enough. MaxPax is breaking through. The army is barely standing. Do we have another Storm? We do not. Not yet. The army's overstimmed. Boys are being pulled into the Stalkers. There's almost 1 Storm available. He needs a little bit more time. The High Templar, it gets it goes down. High Templar falls, no Storm. And Clem, he holds. Oh my god, 1 final Storm towards the end. Brutal connection. Jesus. That was the final Storm. But Clem holds. And MaxPax, he was all in. The reality is that he was completely all in there. That's why he committed as hard as he did. MaxPax, he cut workers at 54. That is less than 3 base saturation. MaxPax, he's getting a 4th base, but again, he's lacking tech, lacking upgrades. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Clem. That had to kill Clem, and it didn't. It didn't even kill any SCVs. He got 2 SCVs with that. Jesus. that's crazy. Now we get some nice pickoffs here. MaxPax, he can still try to make this work, but bearing in mind there's no Storm. Oh, never mind. High Templar coming in. There's 4 High Templar. Storm pops up. 1 Storm so far. There's 3 more High Templar left. Archon's moving in. Here comes the second wave. Yeah, the second wave from MaxPax. The SimCity, though, making things awkward. Nice choke points here from Clem. Storm does connect. There's what, like 2 Storms left. MaxPax, he's pushing through. Getting into the mineral line. Another Storm in the main army. SCVs, they pull away, but here come the ghosts. Here come the EMPs. The EMP on the Archons. Brutal connections. Archons, both of them go down. There's 1 Storm left. There's the final Storm. Needs a little bit more time for another Storm. He's gathering energy. Gathering more energy. MaxPax still trying to break through. But the kiting here is solid. The CC is cancelled. GG gets called again. MaxPax, he was all in. He runs out of steam, and Clem, he will take a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. Does take a 2-0 lead. I do apologize. It took me a little bit too long to piece together that it wasn't all in. We realized it was moving out, but again, like the entire time I was like, oh yeah, like now he can, you know, eventually get into a forge and +1. Then it's like, wait a minute. it's like hold on, he's not getting it at all. Oh, I see. So no gases, no upgrades, no nothing, just a pure all in, 3 base all in there, or under 3 base all in there for MaxPax, and alas, barely was not enough. And now we're getting into our next game. We're getting into our next game. Getting into game 3, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an extended series, but the pressure is on MaxPax. Let's go. I think he got workers at 62, but he lost probes to auto charge right before the push. Yes, he did lose some workers to the auto charge. That is true. It's true. Here we go. So we're getting into our next game. Getting into potentially the final game of the series. Again, I'm hoping for a game 4. I'm hoping for a game 5, but it all comes down to MaxPax. Meanwhile, a big shout out to BMW Nick. Oh my god. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the subscription with Twitch Prime. Do appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we are in the grand finals of the PiGosaur Monday. It's been an intense tournament so far, and intense finals as well, but I'm hoping for a little bit more. I want to see some more games. I'm greedy like that, Papi, but comes down to our Protoss. Comes down to this player here is spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. We go. So we are settling in. For those who are curious about some of the details about said all-in, as we mentioned, it was a 3 base all-in, no gases at the 3rd base. I want to say limited gases at the natural, and it was on 10 gates. It was a 10-gate all-in there with hyper prioritization on Storm, of course. It's crazy, and it looked terrifying. It looked very terrifying. It was very impressive that despite Clem took some storms to the face, he was able to spread very nicely. He was able to avoid the majority of that splash damage. I think what I'm most impressed by when it comes to the initial defense from Clem is the fact that he didn't lose any SCVs. Like that he was forced to pull the boys towards the end, but he lost 2 workers in that defense. It was crazy. He only lost 2 SCVs, and that's why Clem looked so comfortable afterwards, as the all-in just didn't do any economic damage. And we've seen this before. Once again, eBay block out of Clem, and we forced the unnatural natural out of MaxPax. Oh boy. Now, my biggest concern for MaxPax is welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold is a very small map, very short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map. So our eyes are on Clem. We'll see what kind of aggression he goes for. We'll see how hard he commits, and if he's able to break MaxPax early on. You're a great caster. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do appreciate the kind words. Do appreciate it. Always. Now that you've subscribed, if you wish, now you have access to our emotes in the chat, and you also have access to our replay packs. So you can join our Discord server. We have Discord. We do give out replay packs to our subscribers, replays that we have permission to share, of course. So if you want to learn yourself, or even cast yourself and just watch some of these replays in your own time, like replays of this broadcast, for example, then replays are available. They're available for tournaments like this, for tournaments like Little League Cup, the Kung Fu Cups, what else? Our tournaments like Sparkling Tuna Cup, the Nation Total Tussle. We don't have permission to share Korean StarCraft League, KSL, or Wardy TV Monday. So there are some tournaments we don't have permission, but others that we do. So regardless, plenty of replays. Plenty of them. Otherwise, we're settling in. Stargate opener out of MaxPax. Interesting. My apologies. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted, but a Stargate opener, not a Twilight Council for the first time this series. This is risky. This is very risky. So Stargate openers are viable, but they're usually a little bit more viable on larger maps. Now, the reason for this is because against early game aggression, Phoenixes, they struggle. They do struggle to defend. And speaking of early game aggression, do you see what I see? I see Rex into Factory, into CC, into, more importantly, second Rax. Second Rax is on the way before Starport. We've seen this before. This should lead into a third Rax as well. This is going to be hyper aggressive here out of Clem. And something like a Phoenix opener can struggle against this. As Hellions, they dive into the mineral line, they can one-shot probes, they can and they will. Oh my god, 3 probe kills already, getting up to 4. 4 workers go down, Clem, he pulls away. Clem, he now confirms the Phoenix play. And back at home, we are expecting a third Rax before Starport. This is what we're expecting. If you remember, I believe this is the same build that Cure went for on ley lines against Clem, if I recall correctly, right? Where Cure, he went for a committed push off of an eBay block. Oof, as the first Phoenix does fall. Yeah, it's a brutal pick-off already. First Phoenix goes down. My apologies. Okay, I assumed it was going to be a third Rax. It is not a third Rax, it is a Starport. This is a 2-1-1. Okay, a rare sight, a rare build here in TvP. For those that are curious, the 2-1-1 is 2 Raxes, one Factory, 1 Starport. This is a prominent and prevalent build against Zerg. It is a stim timing with double medevacs. You can see here, reactor into add-on swap into double medevac production. This is going to hit with 16 Marines and 2 medevacs and stim. Now, the reason why this is a rare sight in this matchup is that this heavily delays tank production. And against Blink Stalkers, you need those tanks to defend your bases, right? You see so often against Blink-based play where the Terran player turtles up, and we have tanks in the main, tanks in the natural, bunkers, and you have to defend, you have to survive. But specifically against a Phoenix opener, you don't need tanks. You don't need them, and this sim timing can hit like a truck. This build that Clem is going for is ideal against Stargate play. Just because of the lack of Blink Stalkers. Lack of Blink Stalkers, lack of charge. Charge has begun. And here comes the 2-1-1. 2-1-1 is pushing. Now MaxPax, he barely misses. He misses, no. Does miss the Metamax. He does hit the natural. Gets 1 SCV, gets a mule, gets more SCVs. I mean, this is good damage. But Clem doesn't care. He doesn't care about this damage. He's going for the kill, papi. Aye. Boost into the main. And back at home, I mean, we can always there's no energy for a recall. Does go in. Probe's going to be going down. MaxPax, he has to evacuate. He responds with his army. There's a stim. And Clem, he has a high ground. He has a high ground. He takes down the Zealots one after the other. Phoenixes, they race back home. This is already incredible damage. 8 probe kills. Getting up to 10. 10 workers go down. And he's going to be forced out. Does he get a Phoenix? He does. He gets another Phoenix as well. And he can boost away. He can boost away. He escapes. So 10 workers and a Phoenix. And the Zealots as well. This doesn't end the game, but this does cripple. And he's not done. He just rotates. He rotates over, takes out 2 more Zealots. These Zealot Warpins scream charge, so he knows there's a charge on the way. Going for another. Gets another Phoenix. Oh god. And here comes the main army. that was merely the first phase of aggression here. That was only the 2-1-1. Now here comes the rest. The wide shots. Oh my god. Clem, calm down, papi. Calm down. It's only game 3. You got 2 more games. You know, you can just take it easy. You know, Mate, he wants to go to bed. He wants to sleep, papi. Here we go. He stims in, and there's nothing here. There's just nothing to defend. He stims and he wins. Shield battery putting in a lot of work. The charge does complete, but the Zealots is just not enough. There's not enough here. It was just too much damage early on. Ooh, we force friendly fire. Okay, we force friendly fire. That Widowmine did more damage to Clem than this army did, to be honest. that was crazy. Up. Just dragging the mines. Once again, he drags them in. MaxPax, let's go. Drags in the mines. Doing whatever he can to survive. Takes down the Cyclone as well. Likewise with splash damage. And MaxPax, he holds. Whew. MaxPax, he does hold on. Thanks to Clem. Thanks to those Widowmines. Let's go. Meanwhile, back at home, oh, some SCVs did go down. There was a bit of a distraction going on. Okay, MaxPax, he's in this game. Clem, he was committed. MaxPax, look at the worker count. He's on 60 workers. That had to end the game. That had to end it, and it failed to do so. MaxPax, let's go. He's holding on. And Clem, he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam here. He still has a massive army, true. Doesn't have the best economy though. This still might just be too much. The momentum might just be too high. As he kites back. Nice lift here on the Widow Mines. Very nice lift. One Widow Mine goes down. Like Clem, he's so close to breaking MaxPax. So close. MaxPax going for the prism across the map. Let's go. Going for a counterattack. Clem, he rallies everything across the map, so he doesn't really have much at home to defend. Once again, forces the recall. Gets into the main. Oh, pulling away. Zelts into the main base as well. Clem, I believe, doesn't quite have much at home to defend. Clem is trying to keep this going. Getting the final Phoenix. Oof. Gets a Phoenix, another warping across the map. These Zelts are wreaking havoc. They're forcing Clem all in. I mean, he was already committed. He's already committed, and there are so many Zealots here. MaxPax, he can buy more time. He's getting further ahead. Yo, and do we have a series? Do we have a backup? Do we have a game 4? Do we have it? Let's go. Yeah, he's holding. MaxPax, he's holding on. He shuts down the Marines. Oof. We'll take some losses, but that's 20 SCV kills across the map. Clem is down to 23 workers. He barely has economy. And again, he was so close to breaking MaxPax. To be honest, if it wasn't for that splash damage, if it wasn't for the friendly fire on those Widow Mines, I think Clem wins 100%. He breaks this location. But alas, MaxPax, he pulls it out. Colossus has arrived, and there's no answer. GG gets called. We have a series. We have a back and forth. MaxPax, he holds, and we're going to game 4. Let's go. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Very intense game, very impressive game there by Clem when it came to how much damage he was dealing, and he was just setting up to kill and to just end the game then and there. But again, MaxPax sacrificing his Zealots, sacrificing his Phoenixes to just drag the mines into Clem's army, killing as many Marines as possible, and yeah, just snowballing out of control there. Does survive, does get out of hand. Alas, the counterattacks as well on point. And suddenly, can we go the distance? Can we go to the ace match? Suddenly, MaxPax, he has momentum. He has momentum in the series. He survived. Now, to be fair, this was a more unique build. If you remember, we were excited to see, hold up, 2-1-1. Again, that's a rare sight in this matchup. So it was interesting to see Clem bring that out, which was quite successful, to be fair. But I would imagine coming into our next map, Clem might be calming things down and going back to the norm. We'll see. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Danish Protoss player. He does fight back. He does put a point on the board. He survives the aggression of his opponent, even forced the all-in. Representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid, being forced into a game 4, into an extended series. Can he bring it back and become our champion? It is Clem. We go. Ooh, as welcome one and all to Persephone. Persephone is one of the more interesting maps in the map pool in the Team Liquid map contest. What do we have? We have a gold base. We have a gold base, not just a gold, but it is surrounded by speed zones on the right hand side. So we have an alleyway full of speed zones. We have the gold base, which we have seen taken from Protoss players. We have seen actually a lot of success here from the side of Protoss when it comes to going into a 3-gate Blink Stalker, containing the Terran, and rushing into the gold. Taking the gold base as a 3rd or as a 4th expansion, taking advantage of this and snowballing out of control from there. Likewise, also a healing pad. True, healing pad is right next door to the gold. Short rush distance by air. We'll see how MaxPax will approach this. We'll see if he does play Blink or not. Okay. You even have Rainer's League replays. Nah. No, he's lost in the rift, Bobby. He's lost in the rift. Never to be seen again. Until EWC. Is Rainer going to Stars Agora? Hold on. I think he is, right? He better be. Let's see. Yeah, he is. Okay. He's going to Stars Agora. Hopefully he gets out of the rift in time. Esterainer. SMH. For now though, we're settling in. It is going to be our initial opener here. Just racks into, oh, double gas. Racks into factory into a delayed CC here by Clem. Interesting. So a much more aggressive start. And this can go into a couple different ways. This can go Reactor Reaper Hellion. This can go into early add-on swap into Reactor Hellion into drop play. We can see though it is going to be early Widowmine drop, but we'll see what the follow-up is going to be. What the add-ons are looking like and what the swap, or what the production does look like afterwards. Reaper dips in. Getting a scout off is going to be Twilight Council open out of MaxPax, going into Blink. Water mines are amassing. Starport is finishing. I'll be soon going for the drop. Likewise, we'll see if Clem, because of the Reactor Marine production, he may even go for a Widowmine Marine drop, which is going to be a little bit more committed. The purpose of Marine Widowmine drops are to get damage done. Usually Widowmine drops are just for scouting, really more than anything. But if the Marines do join them, then it can be more committed. But as we can see, yeah, we do invest into a second Widowmine. Oh, okay. We do commit. So 2 Widowmines alongside a handful of Marines are moving out. 4 Marines, 2 Widowmines. They do head in towards the main. And we'll see if MaxPax can keep up. Behind this, throwing down extra gateways, going into 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink Stalker. Clem moving in. MaxPax is in position. And we'll see if he can zone away those Stalkers. Does get into the mineral line. Late reaction there at the MaxPax. Oh! Mine shot is going to be saved. Does preserve it. Then he pulls away towards the natural. Widowmine does on burrow. Widowmine drops into the mineral line, and it looks like, oh, will we focus down? 3 probe kills, not bad. Does get 3 probes. Going for the Stalkers, hopping up micro here to Clem. Oh my god. Saves the Marines. But the aggression does subside. And so far, solid defense here. Loses 3 probes, which is less than ideal, but does kill 2 Widowmines. So from here he expands, gets his 3rd base. Behind this Clem, he's going into his own 3-1-1 follow-up into a standard setup here. Bunker to defend, tanks are sieging up. This is a much more standard kind of what a standard Terran looks like in getting into the mid-game of TvP. I got there in a roundabout way, but we got there. So standard play here out of Clem, building up his tanks, getting into stim. MaxPax can try to punish. You can see him moving out and fanning out with those Stalkers, but he did get an expansion before the Prism. So MaxPax he's being more greedy, more economic, being less aggressive. From here, MaxPax is working towards charge. We should soon be seeing a Forge and +1. Yep, there we go. Forge and +1. So a standard follow-up here out of MaxPax. Getting into the mid-game. Now, we did speak on the gold base earlier, and right now, because MaxPax has been less aggressive, he hasn't been able to go for the gold or even think about it, not yet. That may be a factor later on in the game. We'll keep an eye on our players. As Clem, he is contained until he finishes Stim. So Stim, it's halfway done at this point. When it finishes, then Clem can break out. Until then, contained. And MaxPax, he's free to set up his production, go for his gateway explosion. This should lead into a robotics bay into Colossus production. We've seen MaxPax deviate into Storm before, but there it is, bay for Colossus. So just a standard follow-up here into the eventual Colossi, which should be out in time to deal with Clem's push. Third CC's on the way. Clem, he's hunting for observers. There is one. It's on the right-hand side. So far, undetected. Unseen. Oh. That's Clem. He's setting up his 5 Raxes. Observer does spot this. Going further in. He already saw the 3rd. Yeah. We'll confirm the 3rd CC as well. And Clem breaks out. Does break out now as Clem moves out. Prism is moving in. Hoping to catch it. Clem with his pants down. Clem doesn't really have much in his main. He does have some production on the way. Let's see how quickly he responds. Oh! Raven taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Raven barely survives. Prism into the main base. The Zealots, they wreak havoc. SCV's going to be going down. Clem, he does react. He does respond with some reinforcements. Yeah, barely any mining here in the natural as well. This is a lot of damage, getting up to 6 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Getting 687. Oh my god. Almost friendly fire. That was crazy. 8 workers fully, Clem, he commits. It does commit across the map, going for the auto turrets, diving on the Colossus. He doesn't care back at home. He will get it. The Colossus does go down. And without the Zealots to defend, MaxPax, he's in trouble here. Clem, he's going for the kill. He's going for the throat. He wasn't all in. He has a 3rd CC, but he was forced to commit. Going for the Robo. Robo's under fire. Nice very nice force fields. Tanks are a little bit too far behind. They have to move forward. Yeah, they're barely out of range. And Clem, he has to retreat. He pulls away. It was good damage, but not game ending. Clem, he got a Colossus. He took down Zealots, Stalkers. He traded with the army, but the economy is untouched. So MaxPax is still enjoying a 3-base economy. 4th base is on the way. MaxPax, he sustained some losses, but he can afford to replace it. So MaxPax is still holding his own. Getting up to a 2nd Colossus. Oh! MaxPax does run into the main army. Clem, he doesn't back off. He's going for the Cybercore. Nice pick up. Takes down the Cybercore, takes down the Gateway. MaxPax, he has to be patient. He has to be patient, has to pull back. Wait for more reinforcements, more warp ins. Ideally wants to catch Clem unsieged, and Clem, he backs off. Speaking of patient play, likewise, Clem, he gets what he wanted, pulls away. He doesn't overstay his welcome. He knows if he sticks around, he most likely will be surrounded. So Clem, he gets the hell out of there. Likewise, Prism forced to recall, but does survive. Well, Clem getting a 4th CC. Ghost Academy's on the way. For the first time this series, we're getting into the mid-game. It only just hit me, but so far this series, Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, they've been very fast. Really fast games, really intense and very, very aggressive, might I add. But we haven't really embraced like a back and forth mid-game between our players until now. We're getting there. And this is where MaxPax is more comfortable. He's a lot more comfortable here. As the Prism does survive. So able to embrace a longer game state. Oh. Nicely done, catching some of those Widow Mines. Both players are building up. MaxPax moving in with his army. Clem has very limited vision here as to what's going on. Let's be careful. Does catch the Observer. We've seen this before. Dark Shrine on the way from MaxPax. He's very fond of his DTs in every matchup, actually. Very fond of mid-game DT harass. And despite Terran having scans, it may not matter. DTs, they can still wreak havoc. Oh. Nice catch. Once again, very nice force fields. Oh, but the first Colossus goes down. Vikings, they punish. Meanwhile, as Clem is distracted, Zelramite does hit the 4th. Prism into the main. Prism does slip in. Vikings in position. No, the Vikings. Otherwise distracted, the warp in will complete. Zealots, they bust into the main base. More SCV's gonna be falling. Clem, he is distracted. Prism somehow survives. This is delaying Clem. MaxPax moving in. Pushing towards the expansion. Tanks are supported. Oh, that's going to be 16. 16 SCVs going down. Zealots are wreaking havoc. They're pulling Clem apart, and Clem, he is being torn apart here by those charge lots. And MaxPax, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken Clem. GG gets called, gets on top of the tanks, and MaxPax ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, this is the first game where MaxPax was able to get comfortable and get into the mid game. If you recall, he was in a little bit of trouble earlier when it came to Clem's push, but remember, Clem's push only traded with the army. He did not touch the third base economy or the fourth base either. The bases for MaxPax were very, very secure. They were left alone, left untouched, so MaxPax had a very comfortable economy, and with that was able to tear Clem apart, again with the non-stop Zealot drops and Zealot run-bys. That's one of the big things that can be an issue to deal with in the mid-game, especially if you're unable to keep up with the Prism. With that, GG, well played. We are getting into our next game, getting into the ace match. Whew. And what map are we loading into? Ooh, this is going to be an odd one. I'll be honest, I don't think I've actually casted MaxPax and Clem on Talisman before. This is one of the more unorthodox maps in the map pool. This is one of the more unusual maps. I don't know where this takes us. I don't know who to favor. I might lean towards Clem because I think aggression is favored here, but we'll see. We'll see. If you haven't seen Talisman before, you're about to. This is not a ladder map. It's not a ladder map. It's not even a TLMC map. It is a uniquely like PiGosaur Monday map. Let's go. It might be featured on the Monday Night Weeklies, maybe. I think? Maybe? Maybe. But now, though, here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Talisman, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Tying up the series, bringing us to the ace match after being down 2-0. Can he pull off the reverse sweep? It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, being forced into the ace match. He was up, he was so close, but alas, so close yet so far. Can he bring it back? It is Clem. And welcome one and all to Talisman. Again, Talisman is one of the more unusual maps in the map pool. What do we have? We have a natural base that is pretty secure, as there's a ramp coming into the natural, so that's a rare sight, so a very secure natural base. But we also have an alternative natural as well on the right-hand side. We have a hybrid base. We have a second ramp, and we have a hybrid base available here. And how do you gain access to this base? With this small mineral alleyway on the right-hand side. Clem can just move down it, but it looks like he's mining through the patches instead. Interesting. But this alleyway does allow workers to move down, and they can just expand on location. They can also use it to scout the opposing base as well. True. So MaxPax actually does poke in. As you can see here, MaxPax can use that alleyway to get out. For now, though, staying in the main. Double gas opener, faster factory out of Clem. And you can see MaxPax trying to get a read on what's happening. Yep, confirms the factory, and he does evacuate. So MaxPax, he gets out, does slip away. Meanwhile, MaxPax back at home, going for a standard opener himself, just going for a gate into Cybercore into Nexus. Now, when it comes to this hybrid location and this hybrid base, clearly Clem plans on opening this area up and potentially taking this as a third, but you also have this forward hybrid base as well. So because of this, you can expand towards your opponent. You can take this base as your natural and this base as your third base, and then suddenly you have an outpost in the center of the map, and suddenly if MaxPax takes this expansion, then we're just touching tips already, and you can just be hyper aggressive, you can just rally across the map. It can be very difficult to keep up, especially with the added boosted economy. Things can get intense real fast and real quick. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of MaxPax, and Clem with this CC location looks like he does want the hybrid base. So Clem is walling up here on the left hand side. Oh, going Reactor Reaper Hellion for the first time this series. Okay. And I believe, not quite lined up, but okay. I was going to say that the minerals would open up, but not quite. Meanwhile, MaxPax is somewhat in the dark. He does move out with his Adept. Trying to figure out what's happening. Here we go. Does move out. Imagine saying MaxPax. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Then does move in. Let's move in, dancing with the army, getting 1, getting 2, getting up to 3 probe kills. Very nice damage so far. Can I get even more than that? Barely not. Nice control here. MaxPax does pull away. Likewise, they get a full scout. 1 Reaper falls. And Clem is not done. Gets into the natural, back into the main. Unfortunately, no workers to kill. The main base is just evacuated at this point. It's barren. But does rescout. And here, Clem is going to be locked down. It's going to be shut down. Gets 1 more probe. That's 4 probe kills in total for two Reapers. Well worth it here for Clem. Behind this will now expand and is building up into his own 3-1-1 setup so far. Standard setup here, tank production, Raven, bioplay as well. But remember, he will have a boosted economy because of those gold minerals. So Clem, he will have that advantage over his opponent. Thankfully, no high yield gas geysers. That would be insane. But boosted mineral income nonetheless. MaxPax moving out. He's going to blink in a couple of seconds. And we'll see how Clem is set up, as there might be an opening in the main. Oh, shout out to Neat Beats in the chat. Cheers, Light. Thanks for casting. Solid game going on here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, the games have been solid. Always, always. I mean, this was almost a 3-0. Like, let's be real. Like, that game on Whistles of Gold was crazy. But Stalkers, they get into the mineral line. SV's going to be going down. And Clem out of position. Tank does move in. Going for the Stalkers. Oof, yeah, as one of the Stalkers gets left behind. Oh, no! Stalker goes down. Nice big off there from Clem. Behind this, charge on the way. Hellion dives into the mineral line. Doesn't get much done, but does scouts. We do see MaxPax with a 3-gate setup and should be taking a third. And we spoke about this. MaxPax does expand on the right-hand side, and Clem can expand towards MaxPax. Towards that third. Just maintain that momentum. Until then, though, MaxPax still warping in. Getting a depot. Again, like, the terrain here makes it so awkward for Clem to defend. Depot is going to get picked up. So, because they move it on the right. We move in. Tank repositions. MaxPax, he, at this point, shouldn't find a way in. We do have a brutal tank line here. But he doesn't need to. Now, something that I did notice here is, okay, it does have a Forge. Forge +1, Gateway Explosion. MaxPax getting into the mid-game. So far, so good. So MaxPax, he's going to be punished. He's going to be forced back. Stalker goes down. But he wants that high-yield depot. He wants it. Oh! Boys are being pulled to repair. Clemmy does stem out. Okay, stems. He will catch a Stalker. And Clem holds. Oh, Clemmy holds on. He saves the depot. Dura TC is on the way. From here, again, Clem, he can expand either towards MaxPax or he can take this more safer expansion. We'll see where he goes. MaxPax, he rotates. Let's rotate, picks up a couple of Marines. Charge Alt's getting ready. I mean, hey, we saw what happened in the last game with those Charge Alt run-bys, with those counterattacks. Uh-oh. Clem, bit of a misrally. Does spot the Zealot. And doesn't lose the tank, thankfully, but he should have seen what's coming his way. Clem, he does break out, so expanding with his army as he moves out, so drop comes in, and there's not much to defend back at home. There's not much here. It's a lock on. Reinforcements, they arrive. Boys are being pulled. Both players fighting 2 locations at once, getting 5 SCV kills. Nice damage. Now, unlike the previous game, because of the gold minerals, Clem, he can afford some of these losses. Like, it isn't as brutal as it was last game. Oof. Clem does siege up here on the high ground. He's secure. And again, we're like sharing screens here basically from one base to the other. Oh, once again, that rally is really hurting Clem. Does get into the main, forces a recall. Colossi building up. And it's still quite tense between the players. Still very tense. Now, when it comes to the move outs, at least there is no... I was going to say there's no high ground that can really threaten this area. But I don't know if MaxPax can ever really push up this ramp. It's going to be difficult. It's not impossible, but difficult to do so. Celeron on the right. Drop on the left. And the drop does come back in. The Prism is getting caught out though. Yeah, massive lock on. Viking pops off. Prism goes down. And here comes MaxPax pushing up the ramp and trying to get a better angle. Gets one tank. Comes in from behind, going for the other tank as well. But the boys are being pulled. Tanks do survive. And Clem, can he hold on though? Still just a really awkward defense here. It gets surrounded. And MaxPax, he does break the tank line. Pushing in. Reinforcements have arrived. Colossus go down. Still a very close fight. 13 SCV kills. Supplies are plummeting. Yeah, they're plummeting for both players. Marines, they get caught out in the open. Clem maintains those Vikings. MaxPax expanding on the right-hand side. Once again, setting up another runway on the right as well. Yeah, no SimCity here. No wall. MaxPax, he just has direct access to the natural. He wants a tank. Oh, can he get it? Not quite. Whew. Yeah, Clem is just getting distracted, getting pulled apart. Again, without SimCity walling these areas off, it's just so awkward to defend. As else they go back in, catching more reinforcements. Clem, he commits. And he should take down the Colossus. Yeah, Colossus goes down. So does the tank. MaxPax, he breaks through, gets into the mineral line. Tries to at least. Yeah, Zealous, they get a kill. They get a kill, no cancel. Massive pickoff. And Clem, he can't keep up. He just cannot keep up here. More Vikings falling as well. Dark Shrine is on the way. And zoning is running back. The Viking out was reset. Yeah, without Vikings, this Colossus reigns supreme. The Zelta are finally cleaned up. Clem, you can just focus on the main fight. So one Viking. Let's go. That does catch a couple of Zealots at least. Nice EMP. Nice EMP on the main army. Clem pushing in. Remember those gold minerals? Hey, they're paying off. DTs are waddling across the map. Does Clem notice? Does he see the shimmer? Yeah, he does. Does spot the shimmer. DTs are head into the mineral line. There's no turrets. Clem has to get the hell out of here. He does defend. Oh, he wastes the scan. Just no DPS. Likewise, DT knocking down that front door. It'd just be so difficult to deal with those Arch-Templar in the midst of all this aggression. As DT busts into the main. Turret's going to be falling. Boys are being pulled. Just a really shaky defense here from Clem. As more SCVs are going down. Likewise, bleeding out a lot of Marines here to the Colossus. It's very intense back and forth. MaxPax's own economy has been untouched, going for more run-bys. Once again. Again, this is getting out of hand. Now getting into 3 Colossi. Nice EMP. But alas, only has 5 Vikings. They're still reinforcing. They're still coming in. MaxPax tempted to dive. Very tempted. Doesn't quite go for it. There we go, Colossus goes down, leaves out one. Lose one so far, but another has arrived. Another has arrived. Zealots are going to be overwhelming. So many charge lots. But there are, what, 4 or 5 ghosts with the main army. There's a lot of EMPs. A lot of EMPs available. And we haven't seen a run-by in quite some time. Yeah, no more run-bys, no more DT counterattacks. MaxPax has been focusing on the main fight. And he'll lose both Colossi. Yeah, they should both go down. Oh, never mind. They barely survived. Oh, spoke too soon. Yeah, they're going to be falling. Zealots are coming from behind, but last MaxPax, he's going to be overrun. He's going to be overwhelmed here. Clem kites well. The minefield! Oh my god, brutal connections. MaxPax, he wanders into the minefield. He does face check. Takes it to the face. Has to get out of here. For the first time in a long time, Clem, he's done defending. He defends, he survives, he breaks out. He needs more bases though. He's running out of minerals. Running out of mineral patches. But impressive. Like, this has been such a chaotic game here for Clem. Losing SCV after SCV, just being distracted so often by DTs and Zealots. I thought it was going to be broken, but no, that is not the case. And now it's time for Clem to counterattack. He's going for the expansion. Shuts down the Zealot run-by. Scans, sees that there's no army coming in. Base goes down, denies the warp in, denies the recall. MaxPax will lose almost everything here. Oh, the prisoner! Get out of here! Zealots, they come in. They get dragged into the minefield. They do get one of the ghosts. They do get one of the ghosts, thankfully, but it looks like Clem has done it. Clem, he has done it. He breaks expansion, takes down to 11 workers. MaxPax doesn't have that boosted economy that Clem did. Oh. With these reinforcements, though. The Colossus putting in a lot of work. There's no Vikings. No Vikings for Clem. Leading out more units, but just through sheer force, he does have too much. GG gets called. MaxPax, he runs out of steam. He runs out of an economy, and Clem will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's PiGosaur Monday champion. GG. GG, well played, Clem. He will claim the series. Very intense game, very intense back and forth. Again, this was almost a 3-0. Like, it was almost a 3-0 then and there. It was a very impressive hold out of MaxPax. He just went Super Saiyan. He did everything he could to survive on Whispers of Gold, and he barely made it out. With that, he began his own comeback. And even here, in the final game on Talisman, we saw how difficult it was for Clem to deal with those run-bys. Time and time again, Zealot run-bys, Zealot drops, Zealot warp-ins, DT counterattacks as well. They were doing so much damage, distracting Clem time and time again, but he weathered the storm. He weathered the storm. At a certain point, MaxPax stopped going for run-bys. At a certain point, MaxPax, instead, he was reinforcing his army. Instead, he was warping in to reinforce that main army. MaxPax, he was trying to go for the kill, but he failed to do so. Because of that, the run-bys fell by the wayside. Clem recovered economically. He got a 4th base up and running, and Clem snowballed out of control instead. GG. GG, well played. Whew, oh my god. Just a very intense final game there, but in the end, Clem, he will be our champion. Shout out to MaxPax for making it to the finals and for making a finals out of this as well. Again, there's a world out there where it would have been a 3-0. It would have been a little bit more of a lackluster finals, but we got what we wanted. We got it back and forth. We got our mid game, our late game, or mid to late game even. Very fun back and forth here between Clem and MaxPax. GG. GG, well played. Oh. Third match between them in the last 20 hours. When do they save? They don't sleep, Pappy. They don't sleep. Again, players like Hero, Bjorn, Kior, MaxPax, Clem, Nickeract, Geralt. There's like a key number of like around 8 or so players that regularly stay up and play in all 3 tournaments. They're animals, Pappy. They're animals. They're crazy. So much love to them, of course, but the passion is real. The passion is real. So much love to all the competitors, of course, and to Clem for becoming our champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the morning, but only for the morning because we are live every single day, multiple times a day. We are live more than any other channel out there in StarCraft, and we can catch up on our weekly schedule. Bam! There we go. So we just wrapped up with the PiGosaur Monday here Tuesday morning. So we just wrapped up with our Tuesday morning broadcast, and later on this evening we are live with the Rex April Madness. The best players in the world, they're facing off in our monthly tournament. Shout out to Rex. Rex, he is the Taiwanese Zerg player. He did make the Rex March Madness last month, and now is hosting another event this month as well. So the April Madness continues. It started last week with Group A and Group B. This week we have Group C and Group D, and next week is going to be the playoffs. Rex April, who's playing today? Rex April Madness. Tonight we are going to be featuring Dark, Cure, Zaun, and Bunny. Oh my god. So 1 Zerg, 2 Terrans, and 1 Protoss. So Dark, Cure, Zaun, and Bunny, they're going to be facing off in tonight's group. That's going to be in 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live with some more StarCraft. Likewise, tomorrow we're going to be live with the Code for Giants Cup in the morning. So we have Code for Giants Cup in the morning, we have the Pwnecast in the evening, we have a Little League Cup on Thursday morning, and on Friday morning we have the Rex April Madness Group D Thursday evening. That is going to be MaxPax, Beyond, Rogue, and Ryung. So that's going to be 2 Terrans, 1 Zerg, 1 Protoss in Group D. That's going to be in 2 days time. We have the KSL over the weekend, we have MSO, we have Firegrow Cup, and more Firegrow Cup, and more content, and more StarCraft, and all of that's all the content. So again, if you enjoyed our casting, if you enjoy StarCraft, then do consider following. Again, we are live twice a day, every single day. This week we do have half a day off. We have half a day off on Friday, and that's just a day of streaming. We're gonna just stream on our personal channel, just ladder stream from some Final Fantasy, just decompressing a little bit. So we get half a day off, baby. Let's go. As again, we are live all the time here on the channel, and if you see something that you like here, and I can't ask of you to watch everything, because again, we're live very often here, and depending on where you are in the world, it can be very difficult to watch everything. There's a lot going on in StarCraft. There's even more going on. We mention this all the time, but we cast so much and we're live so often that we have to turn down events. Like, there's more content that we could be covering, but you know, we have to sleep at some point. We have to sleep. And I have tried to limit myself. Like, technically, we have had days and we have had weeks and months where we cast like 3 times a day every day, but I do want to slow down and limit myself to like 2 a day. Like 2 a day, I'm content keeping it at that. If we wanted to, we could keep going, but nah, we'll calm down. But again, if you want to see something here live, and if you can't because there's a lot going on, YouTube, check out our YouTube channel, !socials in the chat, and you will get a link to our social medias: YouTube, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, TikTok, Kick, all things Cranky Ducklings. We're live all over the place. And YouTube is the place to be for VOD content. Again, Twitch is discontinuing its support for VODs, so if you want some VODs, it's all going to be on YouTube instead. I mean, it always was, but before it used to be on both, now mainly exclusively YouTube. That's where all the VODs are. Oh. It's catching up. Catching up in the chat. Light is as degen as MaxPax and Clem. True. Aye. I mean, what I will say is that I'm looking forward to May. I'm pretty sure coming into May, we should have a bit of a leaner broadcasting schedule. It's just been really intense recently, but it should be opening up a little bit, and I look forward to it. Like, I wanna touch some grass. I wanna go outside. I wanna take a little bit of a break and, you know, do other things outside of just casting, eating, and sleeping. But for now, that's our life. That's what that's all we do. That's all you do. If you want to support us here, you can do so. Last game, yes, we just crowned our champion. If you do want our but if you want to support us in another way, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat, and you'll get a link to our Patreon. Of course, our Patreon does fund our tournaments. It funds our weeklies and monthlies. Bam, you can actually see it here and now. We have Sea Duckling open, Sparkling Tunic up, and Masters 1 open as well. These are regular monthly and weekly tournaments that are all funded via Patreon, and 100% of the money goes towards the players. So thank you so much to all of our patrons. Thank you so much for all the support. We do appreciate it. It's thanks to you that we're able to grow these tournaments and help pay out our players even greater amounts and greater heights. So thank you. Thank you so much. Our next goal is at 500 USD a month. That is to boost the prize pool even further for Sparkling Tuna Cup. So if you wish, you can support us on Patreon. I believe the goal after this one will be to actually pay out our admins and casters, to actually give something to the people that work behind the scenes, whether it's myself, whether it's Kuro, whether it's other like guest casters or admins that we do use. So yes, that'll be after this goal. We're getting there. Eventually. So thank you so much to all the support on Patreon. Otherwise we're wrapping up. Again, you can support us by like donations or subscriptions, or even just watching, even just following is all that we ask. Again, our next broadcast is going to be in 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be casting the April Madness. We're going to be casting Dark, Cure, Zound, and Bunny. We get some all-star Korean action tonight in 7 hours. Otherwise, tomorrow, Code for Giants Cup, that's going to be in less than 24 hours. That is a Brazilian tournament. If you want some Brazilian StarCraft, we got you covered there as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. For now, we're going to be heading off. I got some VODs to edit. I got to edit a lot of VODs. Gonna get some breakfast, gonna get some food, and maybe get a bit of a nap before the cast. That's the plan. That is the plan. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to, so give them some love, give them some support. We'll find someone to raid. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's tonight, whether it's tomorrow, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.